the Jackal, El Chacal, Guillermo Rigondeaux. Now, we talk about fair representation, right? When I do these modern day videos, Guillermo Rigondeaux is the best, purest boxer we have in the sport. He's the most superior one, and he's more superior than Floyd Mayweather. Hold it right there. He's more superior than Floyd Mayweather in boxing, right? He's a guy who won 2 gold medals. That should say it enough. He's a guy that just by throwing that phrase out there, he's more of a superior boxer than Floyd Mayweather, should be an incentive for these boxing, you know, infrastructure, HBO, Showtime, BBC, to be backing up Guillermo Rigondeaux. That in itself should sell. Now here's the thing. Guillermo Rigondeaux should not be fighting in Japan against unknown fighters. Maybe they are known, maybe they do have good records, but they're not even being publicized here in America. And that right there is bullshit. Here's a dude who's 15-10, right? Undefeated. That's like a 70% knockout ratio, right? So he does knock down his opponents. Now his biggest fight to be either notorious or infamous or very famous or well known is the Nonito Donaire fight. And in that fight, that was not a boring fight. That was a very strategic, break you down from head to toe fight from Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux in that fight was very patient because he knew who he was up against. And that's Nonito Donaire, a knockout artist. In that fight, Nonito was, I don't remember too much, but he was off the shelf. Like, he hadn't fought for a good minute. And Rigondeaux was knocking on the door, right? Rigondeaux was very patient in that fight. That fight was very tense because you knew both guys, especially Donaire can knock out Rigondeaux as he did in that fight, but you knew Guillermo can hurt Nonito because Rigondeaux is very patient, right? But the minute he explodes with that left hand, god damn, that left hand will scare the fuck out of anybody and give you cold feet, right? And that's what happened to Donaire. Donaire couldn't pull the trigger because he knew if he threw a lazy jab, that left hand, boom, right in your face, clacking you, ta-ta. Rigondeaux could have been a little more action-packed because he had the skill, right? But he still left his mark, right? Like Ray Lewis dropped that EA Sports video, leaving your mark, right? The mark to become immortal, and from years from now, people are looking at your film, looking up after you, saying, "Yeah, this is the reason why I joined the game." Rigondeaux left his mark on Donaire. I believe in the 10th, 11th, or 12th round. I'm not too sure which particular round it was, but he threw a left hand after it clogged Donaire right in the side of the eye, right? That whole round, Donaire couldn't even throw a punch because he was busy. He was seeing double, so he literally plastered his glove right on his face just to protect it. So now he's a one-man arm. Literally, that arm was broken because he wasn't even gonna get away from. He wasn't gonna throw. He's gonna protect his face, right? And like literally, he's a one-man fighter. It's like if you had broken his arm and he's trying to beat you with one arm. There's like some warrior shit. It ain't gonna happen, especially with a dude like Guillermo Rigondeaux. That's leaving your mark. That fight was very patient, very strategic, very great overall boxing from a 2-time gold Olympic. People should have been backing up Guillermo Rigondeaux. But this is what happened. HBO, Bob Arum, and all these cats started saying, "Oh, our people don't want to talk about Rigondeaux. They're disgusted by him." You're a fucking promoter. You ain't supposed to be saying that shit, you fucking bitch. You ain't supposed to be saying that. That's not fucking cool. Rigondeaux could have made you a whole lot of money. He could have been fighting Nicholas Waters, that dude Miguel Mariaga, who fought Nicholas Waters lately. He could have been fighting Lomachenko. But because, and on pennies on the dollar, this guy wouldn't have been demanding millions. Look how much money you're giving Diego Chavez. $15,000 against T. Thurman or Timothy Bradley. $30,000. That may be a whole lot of money over there where he comes from, Diego in Argentina. But that's pennies on the dollar when you got to cop up like 180 to Manny Pacquiao and he gives a stinker. You understand? Rigondeaux, they just fucked Rigondeaux over. Now, a little bit of Rigondeaux. He's a 2-time gold Olympic medal. His amateur record is like 300 plus fights, 12 losses, or some shit like that. 20 losses. I'm not too sure. That's like 100 wins and like 2 losses. I mean, come on now. That should say in itself. The Chacal, Guillermo Rigondeaux, literally is he's a fucking bad man. He's bad, and it's unfair that these people don't and we don't back him. Now I understand why black people don't back him because excuse me. I understand why people don't back him, black people, because he doesn't speak English. So he loses a lot of that audience, right? But there's black Latinos out there, right? There's black Latinos out there in Latin America and Cuba. Why aren't they backing up? In Mexico? Why aren't Mexicans backing him up? He gives knockouts. He speaks Spanish, right? But Mexicans are a lot racist. I'm not going to lie. They have a lot of racist people out there, right? But why? He speaks boxing. He speaks your language. And he knocks out. And you can be backing him up. But because of his skin color, there's this whole supremacy thing with Mexicans that the more blood that you have from the Spaniard, lo más orgulloso, the more proud you are of that, right? You want to try to get away from your Native American roots. Now, there's some that love the Native Americans, understand, but that's just how it is. I mean, if you look at always people, Mexicans be clowning on the Oaxacas, short in stature, they speak the native dialect. I can go on and on about this shit, right? So they ain't really going to back up, and that's a damn shame. They're not going to back up Rigondeaux. And then you ain't going to back up the white audience because, well, I mean, they're saying they're disgusted by you. And how they disgusted by you? If you knock out people, you left your mark against Nonito Donaire. That was a great fucking fight. I may just upload that fight if it's not up on the YouTube. That fight was very tense. And any given second, you knew somebody could get dropped. Here's the difference. Here's another thing. Guillermo Rigondeaux left his mark on that night. He should have been that new guy, and he should have been that new fish in a big pond. But he wasn't, which is a damn shame. Here's the difference between Guillermo Rigondeaux versus Nonito Donaire versus and Erislandy Lara versus Canelo. In Erislandy Lara Canelo, Erislandy Lara did never leave a mark on Canelo. What I mean by that is, yeah, maybe his eye poofed up a little bit, but never in that fight did Lara hurt Canelo. Canelo hurt Lara, busted him up. Maybe he wins the 5-7-5, but nobody would have wanted Lara to be facing Gennady. Nobody, like, there would have been no incentive to give Canelo the loss because Lara did not give that great of a performance. Now, if he had given a performance like Perro Angulo, and maybe Canelo does, cut off the ring more, but understand that Lara was a challenger. He's the one that's got to take whatever he wanted from Canelo. Guillermo Rigondeaux took from Nonito Donaire, given the fact that not only was he kicking his ass and outboxing him and beating him to the punch, he did get knocked down, he got back up, one of the merits of boxing, but he landed a shot and had Nonito hurt and plastered with his eye just to protect his face. Understand? And he stole, when Nonito was in the ropes, he unleashed. They just fucked Guillermo, my boy, Rigondeaux. They just fucked him over. And Jackal needs better representation from that. One last thing. He's from Cuba, right? Now, let me just tell a little bit of story about Guillermo Rigondeaux. He was trying to throw his baby girl a birthday party, but because they didn't have enough money. This guy is a 2-time gold Olympic medal, meaning he should have had like 20 million in his pocket, because people that win like the gold medal, they get like 10 million for like their country, and Castro takes all that money, right? Because it's, I don't know, like communist or socialist. I'm not too sure. But that being said, he was trying to throw a birthday party for his little girl, and he had a gold teeth, right? He sold his gold tooth just to be able to throw his little girl a birthday party. You understand? So he got on the journey from the boat and came to the America and to give a better living. Now he's probably having a better living standard, right? He's got that financial freedom that one of the merits of America, capitalism allows to immigrants, is to get more from where you come from, right? Because the American dream applies for the immigrants, right? It applied for people that just wanted to start a whole new life, get away from the crown in England or wherever it is that you're coming from, and just make something of yourself. But with that comes, genocide, murder, etc. Right? That's the price you have to pay. Some of the dehumanizing aspects of just sometimes what you have to earn, right? Kind of selling your soul, so to speak. Guillermo Rigondeaux got away from Castro, and he came to the Americas for that financial aspect, freedom of it, right? And he's prospering, but at the same time, we should be watching him on HBO. He should be on these high televised networks, but because we're disgusted by him for the performance against Nonito Donaire, watch that fight. That fight was incredible. That fight was, come on, he was superior. He hurt the guy, he got knocked down, got back up. It was all around good fucking fight. It was dirty when Nonito dropped get Rigondeaux. Rigondeaux was shoving Nonito's head to the ground. I mean, there was very mutual respect, everything, because the stakes were very high and they gave a world class performance. Everything, the antithesis, the dilemma, the struggle of both fighters was shown, and there was resolve, and it was everything that you would wish in a boxing fight. That fight almost had like 40 of the year. You know, understand? Like that was like fight of the year. Well, I thought it was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. Now I didn't know Rigondeaux, so I was like, shit, he beat my boy Nonito, right? But then I got away from just who are the new fishes and new fishes, right? I just got away, just take your shit out, take your personal shit outside, drink a beer, and just enjoy this fucking fight and just watch the shots landed and look at it critically. Um, Guillermo Rigondeaux, the Jackal, needs better representation of that from us fans, especially us fans. We need to be demanding. Now, we are demanding him against Lomachenko, but realistically, I don't know if that's going to happen. The weights, Lomachenko is very persistent that he doesn't want to drop weight. Rigondeaux was like, dude, I'm a small ass dude. I'm like 119 pounds trying to fight you at 126 or whatever weight. I mean, I don't mind fighting you, but you got to give me some better odds. You got to give me an opportunity, a fair shake, right? Lomachenko's only got like 2 fights or 3 pro fights, and he's got like 2 gold medals or some shit. Legit. But I mean, if you look what happened with Orlando Salido should have been disqualified, but with the like 30 low blows that he landed Lomachenko. But hey, sometimes all fights ain't pretty. They're not all gonna be Olympic, and sometimes you gotta rug it out, get a headbutt in there, and fucking back Salido out. I thought it was a little too late. Salido just kept on throwing shots, boom, boom, boom. Was hella overweight, but hey, man, you're already fighting. There ain't no time to complain when you're in the ring. You can complain afterwards, but knock the motherfucker out. Lomachenko did that, but it was a little too late. Um, that being said, he understood what happens when a guy is bigger than you. Guillermo Rigondeaux knows how that feels when a guy is bigger than you. The shots hurt that much harder. It's harder to knock these guys down. It's harder to just keep them honest. So they got to meet at a legit catch weight. That being said, Guillermo Rigondeaux needs us fans to be backing him up. This is the Jackal. He's the more superior boxer than Floyd Mayweather. I mean, just stop right there. How many fighters can you say are more superior than Floyd Mayweather? Well, here's one guy, and he's on the shelf now representing, or fighting in American televised audiences. I mean, that right there says it in of itself.